Alright, hello everybody, and welcome to some more Minecraft musings on this happy Friday. Well, just happy because it's Friday and I'm excited for the weekend and all that good stuff. But very conflicted. I don't know. It's also that was cool. You see like all the ducks and everything and like the view. Also, this is Amethyst, and I got the city texture pack going. Um, yeah, it looks all different and stuff, even from the last time I played. But oh my gosh, no, I finished the Putin interview and it was. I don't know what to think. Sorry, hold on. I don't know what to think. I mean, honestly, well, I guess let me back up a little bit. So, if you want to be with one side or the other, oftentimes you kind of get swept up into things like the carried away with things. And I guess the thing that bothers me the most, also, I really want to go, you know what? That's why. It was rotated. Okay, sorry. Now it makes sense. Septopolis is actually okay. Wow. I was like, yeah, none of that lines up, but now it does. Okay, anyways, um, let's see. I already have that map explored way up there. Also, we just got a new update. It updated before loading in. So it's like the 1.20 point something. I don't know, or 122. We got a lot in the recent updates. Camels. There was a whole exhibition. I did a video on it. It's now buried in all these other videos that I'm doing, but anyways, it highlighted like archaeology. You can go find like pieces of clay pottery and you can reconstruct them and all that stuff. Oh, look, now we've got pigeons and fancy pigeons for our birds. So I love the city texture pack. It's so cool. And I guess I'm just parking those there. And this is continually harvesting. I haven't checked this in a while. Yeah. It's just constantly harvesting these pumpkins that as they happen or as they pop up, these things slam down and harvest them. Let's see. I thought there was a lever, but now I'm not so sure. I know this will trigger it. It should. No? Oh, because that has to change. Which I thought that did just change it. Because it's bent when. Anyways, doesn't matter. When the stem changes, the observer sees that and then it crushes down. So, anyways, no, back to the interview with Russia's president. Like, unheard of. And I'm so glad it happened. But I will tell you what I'm not glad about. Looking in the comments of the that post on the X app already, it's clear that the resounding people are a lot of the same people that I see supporting Trump and MAGA and all this and kind of fueling a lot of fire as it is. I don't know. I see them cheering this on. And it has bothered me, the whole money to Ukraine. It's always bothered me. I mean, I never thought that, oh, hey, that's cool. We're sending a bunch of money. Same with during Obama's presidency. I heard all these grumblings about how we were funding, different sides of conflicts that I had no idea about. And any day sending a bunch of weapons overseas is bad. Like I feel like the Lord of War, like Nicolas Cage in that movie Lord of War, which was an African warlord's interpretation of warlord. And he's like, maybe it is you who are the Lord of War. And then Nicolas Cage's character is like, actually, it's Warlord, and the African dictator guy's like, I prefer the way I said it, or I think I like the way I said it better, or something. But, anyways, the Lord of War, like anyone who can help facilitate death. I mean, in Christianity, one of the worst things you can do is kill somebody. It's one of the Ten Commandments. Don't kill somebody, and that's one of the biggest things I was arguing, well, debating, arguing, discussing with Soldier was, you had to go kill people. Like, you think you okay with that? Like, you think Jesus is okay with that? And I mean, and anybody that knows me knows that I'm what I would consider a skeptical Christian, meaning I grew up reading the Bible, I grew up going to church every Sunday, And it's a really great story, and there's a lot of great things in it. But then, a lot of my church too, being Protestants, didn't really believe all of it. Like, I mean, there's some really wild stuff in there, and so it's like maybe that was true at the time, like selling your daughter into slavery or sacrificing your own son in devotion to a god. Like that all sounds really scary, and that's why I'm also discussing Islam and Christianity now with the lawyer on one of the famous, or not famous. It's a pretty large account for pro-Islam postings, and I feel bad for them. Like, and I really do feel bad for them. But this is for the good of humanity. We need to get it out there and expose what's being said and what's being thought. Not just to, definitely not to get them in any trouble or anything. I'm worried, I'm going to try to protect the lawyer as well. But, um, sorry, I just want to make sure it doesn't fly up onto my shoulder. It might actually. You never know. Also, look, the tools are different. It's not your traditional Minecraft axe. It's definitely more of like a crescent shape. And so yeah, I don't know. It was an amazing interview. And if I didn't know who those two people were, well, actually no, I knew very well who those two people were, and I still really liked the interview. Like it seemed very relaxed. I mean, they didn't ask a whole lot of pointed questions, but even the stuff that they did ask, like the Nord Stream, like blowing up the Nord Stream, nobody. And oh, and here's another interesting thing. I'm part of community notes, so I get to see all of the stuff that's hidden from viewers until we vote on it. And it's like a lot of successful systems, Stack Overflows like that. It upvotes or downvotes responses, so people don't have to search through tons and tons of things. And then it's kind of like a self-regulating governing body, um, of just good help, good answers. And it's really useful because a lot of times, I'll go to Stack Overflow I mean, I haven't for a long time, but back when I was writing computer code, go to Stack Overflow, read a little bit about it, and it's like, oh, okay, cool. I got the answer. Didn't take me like an hour or two to search and find. Like, I got an answer and a good explanation too. Usually they like discuss why it is to give you a little like history, background, or explain what's going on. And it's beautiful. And that's what's happening to XApp too, only with communication, politics, and all that. Now, still not a fan of Trump. I will say that. I mean, even though like I pretty much agree with all of Trump's cheerleaders on this issue though. This issue alone, and that means that I am critical of some of my own presidents. Like, I mean, they're all my president. It doesn't matter who leads the country. They're president. Like, Trump was my president back when, I mean, I didn't vote for him, but, like, he controlled my country for a while. So, and he might again. I mean, it's not going to be the end of the world if he does. I hope he doesn't. I hope Biden wins. But, it's like the Ukraine and then the Israel thing. It's just like, you really shooting yourself in the foot. Like, just sending a bunch of money, and a lot of politicians too, like supporting this. Let's send all these aid packages to Ukraine and all this. And right in the beginning of the interview, and this is what I'm gonna be participating in the commenting on XApp for sure. Unfortunately, a lot of my followers are not gonna like it because they're mostly Democrats and hate this. And I've seen a couple of people try to already start the argument against Putin, but their arguments seem pretty weak so far. Like I haven't seen anything good yet. It's still relatively new. It's 16 hours old, and there's a ton of pro Tucker people on there because they're the first ones to see it and trust to watch something. And like I mentioned on one of the last episodes, I did watch the Ramaswamy interview, and I liked it, but I still disagreed with a lot of what Ramaswamy said, and I was just like, you know what? No, I would never vote for this guy, and I think he's even worse than Trump because he's like as dangerous as Trump. He basically sounds a lot like Trump, but he's also inexperienced too. And not that Trump has any more experience. I don't know. And then I hear like Ramaswamy led a company, and so he's a good businessman. All right, a good human that does business. Yeah, see like that. So like, anyways. Oh, let's see. I forget how to even. This might be too far up. Oh yeah, yeah. Let's try this. Much better. Okay. Anyways, I don't know. Well, I loved it because Putin said he talked about Bill Clinton and asked if Russia asked to join NATO. And I've wondered that so much myself. Like, what if we just asked Russia to join NATO? Like, what is the big deal if we're really trying for world peace? I mean, really trying for world peace. what's standing in the way? And I guess that's what I'm waiting to see in this one is like, oh, but no, Putin did this and Putin did that, and like, but I even saw, if anything, I saw more evidence to the contrary. I saw someone post a montage of all the presidents that liked Putin. Like there's Obama yucking it up with them at a UN meeting, which is good. I mean, you want world leaders to get along, but I mean, and then what else was there? There was Bill Clinton was asked about Putin, and the interviewer said, "Has Putin ever gone back on anything, anything, or does he seem like a trustworthy person?" And Bill Clinton gave a very politician answer. He was like, "He has never gone back of any of the agreements we've made." And so, and that's fair. Like, what else do you expect someone to be? To be proactively bending over backwards for you, or honor all agreements? And because that's more than we can even say in our American history. Like we didn't honor a lot of our agreements with the natives and basically stole this country from the natives. I mean, and then killed them. Like, our hands are very bloody in history, and like anybody who studies history knows this. I mean, and that's why I liked how the video started off with a brief history lesson, which still none of it really answered my own question as to like, why the war? Why the big deal? Like, if they want to call themselves Ukraine, let them be Ukraine. Like, same with the Taiwan thing, and I think a lot of that's just because it would be such a blow, or it's such a pride thing, or what. I mean, we did it with England. Like, it's only human nature to have colonies that if they're far enough away from the government's trying to. I mean, and that might even be different now that we have instant communication. Like, if England had instant communication with the colonies, maybe America would have never become a country. Maybe America would have been like, no, we're not paying this tax. And they're like, okay, let's talk about this. Let's negotiate it. But I'm thinking a lot of it was just accidental, like, no, we're not paying this tax. And then by the time the wording got over to England, so much had been done in that trajectory, that vector. Like, so much had been done that it was hard to reverse it. And then England gets word of this, is like, oh, definitely not. And then sends a response. And by the time that response comes back, like, I could easily see that being just accidental. So, accidental wars, accidental death. And it's a shame that could even be a thing. But I mean, if you think about it, it's not that surprising. Communication's been terrible, just not through it, no fault of our own. It's a big world. I mean, it used to be a lot bigger. Now, not so much. I mean, and I would know. I've flown around the world twice now, literally flown around the world. Um, it was just like a boring riding the bus for like 20 hours. I mean, no, it is intense. If you do international travel, you definitely need to gear up for it. Um, but no, it's like it's amazing to think that. Anyways, back to the thing. So, yeah, I still disagree with Trump. I mean, he's dangerous in the sense that maybe even his own stupidity, not stupidity so much as like hindsight bias, I guess would be a better way to put it. And I still get stymied over the bringing back of the death penalty for drug dealers when and I watched him speak on this. He was like, fentanyl and illegal drugs are killing this country. When you look at the actual deaths from overdose, the majority is just fentanyl, not even opiates, but fentanyl specifically, or opiates laced with fentanyl. And this was actually caused by the doctors and the Sackler family. We've got entire documentaries done about this. So that part, nah, I'm not, and he doesn't say fentanyl or opiates or even like he's vague to leave it open-ended, and that I mean, and he probably doesn't even know what he's doing. Probably doesn't even understand, or maybe he does. Maybe somebody else does, nefarious, that wants to ensure that the DEA and cannabis being Schedule One stays like that. Even though even the DEA is talking about rescheduling cannabis, which is ridiculous because it's been a Schedule One, which is right there with meth and heroin. Like those are the serious drugs. It's like first degree out to third degree. So like the lower the worst. Like at least some, yeah. Well, yeah, because yeah. Sorry, I almost had to like fact check myself real quick because I mean I've been known to get things confused, but what I do know, no, because it is Schedule One down to Schedule Three. There's a couple of different factors I've heard is like, oh, I forgot I have all this cool stuff over here. But certain factors like, oh, that seems, I did start building a base up there. All right, you know what? We're going to trade and then we're going to get a bunch of stone and we're going to start a project up there. But I'm actually going to be playing with one of my buddies tonight. We're going to be doing some more Elden Ring, I believe. And Oh, the game is so fun. But for now, wait, what am I doing? Yeah, I just couldn't contain myself. I watched the rest of that interview. Um, Still got a lot done at work. It was a very productive day. I actually finished quite a few things I needed to get done. And I'm still going to be doing some tonight too. So, what is this? I'm sorry. In fact, actually, while I think about that, let me put an alarm on. We've already been talking for 15 minutes. Oh, it was insane. That interview was amazing. And I hate that nobody. Oh, wait, sorry. Let me see what I'm doing. So, hmm, of Friday. 17 minutes with our 15 minutes. No, let's roll that back. Okay. 15 minutes on our 15 minutes. We'll go a little over, but yeah, it's just, and this isn't the first time, too. Let me just say, like, growing up in a conservative community, I've had a lot of friends question Democrats. So it's nothing new to me there, but like all through Obama's presidency, I had to ask myself, what is going on? Why? I mean, granted, I blame Bush and Bush's administration for getting us into the 20-year war in the Middle East, but uh, um, Obama didn't do much to stop it. Like, I feel like there was a lot of that was business as usual. And that's dangerous. That's people's lives and deaths. Like, and death is, there's no coming back from that. And it's so easy for people to just do that. And so, I don't know. It's always been one of my, and well, and then Biden, being the VP, so he's, part culpable with Obama's thing. Like, he was right there with Obama, helping make the decisions and all that, being one of his top advisors. Like, they're all kind of complicit in all that. Yeah, sure, why not? We've got plenty of stuff. But when people are dying, it's a concern. And the thing with the Ukraine war, and I hate because like I've already actually gotten into an argument with somebody that follows me and is supposed to be on my side, but he's like, wait a minute, you don't think we should be giving everything to Ukraine? Everything, or Ukraine should have every tool they need to win this battle. And it's like, what battle? Like, I don't know. It's just and Putin even says as much. Like he's not trying to take Poland, he's not trying to take Lithuania. And really, if you want to get down to it, when the USSR broke up, like there was a lot of lands that like could be argued that and Alaska too. I heard someone saying that Russia, or, I don't know where I saw this, but like Russia was starting to question the Alaska thing. That Russia gave away Alaska to us, and I don't know. I'd have to look into that, but that one's a little more concerning because Alaska's America, although kind of not technically. It should be more Canada, I think. But like, and that's why I just think it's all silly. And I still go back to Neil Tyson or Neil deGrasse Tyson on Colbert when he was like, the global perspective, and he was talking about it's a little 2-minute video if you look it up on YouTube, and like basically he's talking to Colbert and he's like, astronauts went up and they saw the world for what it was. It wasn't all of these colored painted borders splitting countries up. It was one solid world. And just that concept, you got the EPA, like all these environmental agencies, like which Trump wants to gut and like thinks that it's bad for business. So another reason why I don't trust Trump and I'll never vote for him. But I mean, unless he were to say like, okay, I'll reinstate all the scientific things, we'll do socialized medicine, legalize cannabis nationwide, legalize shrooms nationwide, end the war on drugs, like all of these things, whichever president does that gets my vote. Honestly, like but I think that's more likely with Biden. I'm sorry. It's like, and actually, I'm sure. Well, like I said, most of my followers on the X app would agree with me there. But even in this last discussion with the soldier and the lawyer, both very heavy MAGA, they disagreed with me on a lot of things like education costs and all that. But agreed, well, the lawyer agreed that no drug should put you in prison. Like, that's just causing more problems than it's solving. It was a good intention, but holy cow. And I can testify that. Like, nonviolent crimes ending up in years, if not decades, in prison time are just ridiculous. You might as well, like, kill them at that point. It's like a death sentence. Like, the prime of their life is gone because of a few bad decisions that didn't kill anybody, didn't kill themselves, like, and then you're putting them in prison and in situations where they're more at risk physically and mentally for harm than if they had just gone to rehab or some treatment classes and then stayed in the community, which again, we are fixing that, especially here in Colorado. There's community corrections and a lot of people that were destined for prison for a long time ended up or end up in community corrections where they can still have a job, they can still like stay kind of like they have to get back on their feet and it's still a climb, a struggle, but yeah, it's getting better and we're going to start emptying out our prisons and we're starting to realize like yeah, we shouldn't be doing all this. Like this is inhumane. So, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. So, all right, let's trying to think. I don't even know. I'm wondering. Yeah, because even like here, I've got a bunch of bricks. I'm not gonna take anything from here. Let's go back to the main proper. Let's get. I guess we should get the maps, and then I guess. Hmm. We could take the nether travel to the base. Let's go harvest some ice. I like that. What I was gonna say is harvest um some of the deep slate, and then we could fashion a bunch of bricks and make a giant castle up there in that mountain, which I still want to do. That's still gonna be a project, but I kind of want to get some ice and see what I can see down there in the winter wilderness. It's gonna be a trek. Oh, it's gonna be a trek. Well, let's do it. All right, and while we're trekking, okay. So we gotta go down to Bologna to get hop on the nether train. So let's see my haul of coal. Here, yeah, those are all blocks of coal. I'm gonna line this entire hallway with how much coal I've harvested. Um, yeah, that's a lot of coal. I don't know. It's giving a lot of money and weapons to a country that's basically supporting war. Like, none of it's felt okay. Same with Israel. Like, and I say that, yeah, what Gaza did was terrible. What Hamas did, all that, it's terrible. I'm not saying, and I hate that there's such a straw man that if you speak out against funding all sorts of death and destruction, you know, you're automatically a hippie, a Nazi, or you're anti-Semitic or whatever. No, speaking out in criticism of military action should never be, well, I mean, I shouldn't say never. Every case is different, but on average, it's like the sides flip-flopped. You know, I like to think back to South Park, where it was almost split like Democrats and Republicans. Republicans supported the troops, and they even went into song and dance. It was like a musical, and it's Randy Marsh singing against Jimbo. Randy, the geologist, is representing Democrats and scientists and the like, while Jimbo, or no, is it Jimbo? I'm a little bit country, and I'm a little bit rock and roll. Anyways, um, sorry, I had to think for a bit. Also, we should probably take this with us, just in case. Or leave it there. I think I actually have a bunch. I mean, it's gonna stay there, and unless we decide to go overland somewhere else, we got a bucket. I don't know, whatever. We'll just leave it there for now. Worst case, we'd have to go find some iron and hopefully I don't die, knock on wood. So, anyways, no, it's mind-boggling. Like, I'm not excited about this. I mean, I am excited to hear Putin talk like that, and I'm already looking at some of the fact checking. I think there was a couple of discrepancies with Putin's version of history, where and history is so up into interpretation, anyways, because it's written by the victor. Let's see. So we got to go this way first. I mean, we are going to need one of these because we're going this way. Oh, shoot. Okay. So, and then as soon as the red dot, see how fast it's moving along, you know, every one block in the nether is worth, I think it's 8 blocks in the overworld. So we're moving like 8 times as fast as we would if we were running across on the overworld. That's why nether travel is so awesome. And I think this is only, we only have to go one over, but maybe it's two. Either way, it's, oh, nope, it's just one over. So once we hit the edge here, we'll go south, and, yeah, and here we go. But this one I think is two. And we'll see on the map as soon as the red starts actually moving in towards the green on the map on the right, that'll tell us that we're actually in that quadrant or in that. It's not chunk. Chunk is like 1/16th of that, or at least. I don't. In fact, I think it's even smaller. Um, I'm not sure. Oh, there we go. Now we're getting there. Kind of overshot it a little bit. I wonder why. Anyways, we're back to the memorial. Yeah, I don't know. It's concerning. And no party is completely without fault. And that's one thing. Like, I forget who it was. Someone wrote the history of the world or the history of America. Or there's. Oh, this doesn't look as expected. Okay, I guess I think I'm starting to remember this. I just left it down there. But yeah, this is a cherry blossom memorial to people that I know have died. I know that one. I'm trying to think by the initials. Yeah. Oh, where's AK and SK? There's SK. Anyways. Wait, CB. Anywho, let's go get some ice. Actually, what do I have here? Oh, ho, 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 ho. Hmm. I was just talking about how I should get a bunch of dark bricks to make a fortress, but I think because I was eventually going to make like a giant base here. Yeah, I don't know. Let's leave all this stuff, I guess. Yeah, let's leave it for now. Because I do plan on making this a much better memorial. Or making the memorial closer to Oasis too. Like I feel like that makes sense because the Oasis, I'm trying to make that more of like a. Oh wow, this is cool. Um, I should make this into a railway, but we'll see. Actually, you know what? I should make a boat. And also, we're almost to the 30 minutes on this episode, so might have to come back and do another episode. Or I just had to come on and comment about the Putin interview more. I mean, I'll continue to do the discussions on XApp, and then I'll report back here with what I finagle. But I mean, it's not looking good. Like, I'm not seeing any good arguments against. All I see is a lot of like trying to just like you can tell when somebody just wants someone to be wrong. I guess is a good way to put it. Like, I mean, there's just evident like they're just reaching, and I've seen that with Democrats before, my own party, where it's just like, actually, I don't know if that's accurate, or I don't know if I'd say that way, or maybe this. Let's look at all of the. That's one. Okay. Okay. But anyways, it's good, and you need to be that way. You need to be able to criticize your own party because otherwise, that's how things like Hitler happen. Like the German people loved Hitler. They thought he was just the greatest politician ever, and then, a bunch of bad, evil stuff happened. It wasn't like an overnight thing. It was a slow progression of hold on, and then it like got away from everybody. And I don't know. I wasn't there, so I don't know exactly, but that's the way it seems. I mean, because you look at people, even like people that you would think would make the worst of decisions or in prison, and I've worked with a lot of people that have been to prison, and it's just no. All I see are people that spend a lot of time bored, locked in a box, not contributing to society through no fault of their own. I mean, well, yeah, one fault because they broke the law and blah blah blah. But like, okay, do we put kids in timeout for a week? No, we do not. We put them in. I don't even put my kids in timeout, honestly. I think I could probably count on my hand the number of times I've had to do a timeout with my own kids, just because I treat them with respect, dignity. I explain things. If they break a rule, we talk about it, and they know. They know the limits. They know the boundaries with me. They know the things that'll get them in trouble. Sorry, we went off on a whole rant there, but and one of the things that they talked about in that interview was this 32-year-old journalist, like they were trying to free, and Putin said, well, he was guilty of espionage. He was receiving classified information in a secret way, which really could be anything anymore, like people using a VPN or encrypted whatever. I mean, is the secret way. And I remember my security professor talking to us about one time he was in France and something like that happened. Like the French government came and talked to him, and was like, "Hey, you've got this encryption going. We need to talk. And like, can we see what you're sending?" And he was like, "No." He's like, "That's the point of encryption." And like, it was just something. And for all I know, he was probably working with our own government and all this, and like, and it doesn't take much. But if you think about it, well, and same with like the election interference, because and we learned about that in my cybersecurity boot camp was there was election interference by people working for Russia or Russian government that were influencing the election. But the way that they did it was just a bunch of social media groups like Facebooking and stuff, like and pretending to be people, like catfishing. And when you think about it, all the nefarious things that our own citizens do, like that, like catfish, have several profiles, like mess with people, spy on people, all this stuff that I've seen plenty of people do. It's like, really, that was the interference? I thought it was like rigging, like voting machines or actually cheating, but this was just trying to convince people through nefarious ways. That's politics in a nutshell. All politics that has money involved. You're trying to convince people to vote for you and put something that stands out in people's heads to where they remember it come voting day. Like Tommy Boy, or no, Chris Farley in Black Sheep was great about highlighting that, was just how bad we've come to like dirty pool in politics. I mean, that movie was back in '97, I think. I was just reading the other day when I was looking it up that that's when it came out. I want to say, but I could be wrong. But anyways, that's why we need to ban money from campaigning and then stuff like that. And these embarrassing situations with the world. I mean, like someone posted on there how Israel attacked one of our ships in a false flag attempt back in like 1967, and a Russian war carrier or Russian ship came and saved them. And it was like, wait a minute. And you got the Bay of Pigs where the government, and I think that's the problem too. The government, the U.S. government by itself is flawed. I mean, oh, so I think I need a couple of buckets, maybe do some water. Here's some ice. Oh, I don't have. Oh, shoot, I need Silk Touch. And this will take forever. Sorry, yes, I'm taking the igloo. Huh. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, how about I replace your walls with some nice cherry wood? This isn't what I had in mind. Usually you go to an ice spike biome. Um, Actually, yeah, it does seem kind of messed up. And we're past 30 minutes anyway. So, oh, jeez, a little bit past. So anyways, ta-ta for now. I'll see you in the next one. I'll try to do another one, but like I said, I might even have to pause all of these uploads because I'm going to be playing with my buddy online in a bit, and Elden Ring doesn't like it when you're uploading videos and trying to do co-op. So, anyways, ta-ta for now. I will see you in the next one. And again, keep an open mind. I mean, I'm still a hardcore Democrat. Not hardcore, I'd say, but like, still a Democrat, still don't like Trump. But now I'm a little less critical about Putin and a little more critical about our own president. Because, like, what are you doing? Not even just our president, our Congress. Because a lot of the people that I usually side with are like, yes, we need to send money to Ukraine. And that's, okay, sorry, real quick, one last thing. That border bill supposedly had, and I'm going to have to look that up because I keep thinking about that. It had Ukraine funding in it. Like, why are you trying to negotiate with Republicans and do a border bill and then sneak in a bunch of funding to Ukraine? Like that's just the dumbest thing ever. And I'm sorry, like they do that a lot. And That's why like everybody should be reading these bills. Like all of the American people should have like a class like once a month and be like, "All right, here's what's up, and then be able to discuss about it and have it encouraged and I don't know, not mandatory, but like there should be a place, and that's what XApp kind of is like people can discuss these things, and it's great. I discuss a lot of interesting things with people that normally I wouldn't agree with, and we do agree on a lot of stuff. We still disagree on stuff, and we still, at the end of the day, I don't think anybody's changed their vote, but like that's just one example of like, okay, are you really trying to fix an issue, or are you just pretending to? And then when they trash the bill because they say, hey, this has nothing to do with our border, this is funding for Ukraine, and I already don't agree with it, then there's I don't know. It's frustrating, but anyways, hope you all have a great Friday, and I will see you later. Ta ta.